Hello and welcome back to An Old Man Watches. And today I am going to be talking about the second and third Man with No Name films, those being 1965's For a Few Dollars More and 1966's The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. Now, in the first of these two films, Clint Eastwood's laconic gunslinger is on the trail of a crazed bandit named El Indio. Also tracking the same target is the black-clad, steely-eyed bounty hunter Mortimer. Neither man is what you'd call a natural team player, but they both recognise that the other would be a dangerous adversary. Also, there's the fact that El Indio is backed up by a gang of over a dozen dangerous thugs. So the two form a reluctant, mutually suspicious alliance of convenience. Whether that alliance will hold up or not, of course, is yet to be seen. On the other hand, in the latter of the two films, Eastwood is the not very accurately named good part of the title, and his character possesses one part of the information necessary to recover a fortune in gold. The other two parts, as you might immediately surmise, are in the hands of the eponymous bad and ugly characters, both of whom are also deadly gunslingers. The three men will go through a series of alliances, double crosses, and confrontations as each seeks to acquire the treasure for himself. So I've decided not to discuss these two movies separately, and I haven't done that because I don't like them. I do like them, though they definitely have their flaws. But the reason that I'm talking about them together rather than separately is simply that I see a lot of similarities between the two films. And if I gave them separate videos, I'd end up covering a lot of the same themes in them, which seems like a waste of both my time and yours. So, like A Fistful of Dollars, which launched the trilogy, both of these films were financial successes at the international box office, though they initially received a decidedly mixed critical reception. They've all risen in critical esteem over the surrounding succeeding decades, with The Good, the Bad and the Ugly in particular being described as arguably the greatest of the spaghetti westerns. Now, I liked both films, but I wouldn't exalt them to quite that extent. Let's talk about what I do and do not like about them. So, one of the interesting aspects of these films is that they both use deuteragonists, by which I mean that Mortimer, in For a Few Dollars More, and the Bad and the Ugly of the final film, have larger, more central, more important roles than being simple antagonists to the protagonist. They are functionally secondary main characters, and they spend significant parts of the film on screen and pursuing their own agendas. Sometimes those agendas parallel those of Eastwood's character, sometimes they're disconnected from his, and when they do interact with a man with no name, it may be simply to talk, it may be to collaborate, or they may be actively adversarial. These more complex than normal non-protagonist roles are memorable and important ones, and I think getting the casting right was key to making them work as intended. And in that regard, I'm pleased to say that both films do a really good job. Lee Van Cleef's turn as Mortimer is, in my opinion, the best thing about For a Few Dollars More. He's really good. And he returns in the third film as the more actively malevolent Angel Eyes, the bad, while the very talented Eli Wallach is great fun as the rowdy, rough and tumble bandit Tuco, the ugly. So yeah, great casting, interesting characters, unusual structure. I liked it. Something else that both films have is style. My word, they have style. Leone's distinctive visual style is in full effect here, with lots of sweeping long shots intercut with many extreme close-ups. The former show off the striking, sun-drenched landscapes to full effect, while the latter tighten the focus right down and ratchet up the tension for scenes of imminent violence. The camera captures the sudden narrowing of eyes, the quirk of a mouth, or the twitch of a hand toward a gun. The sumptuous and memorable visuals are more than matched by Ennio Morricone's justly famed soundtracks. Both films have excellent soundtracks, but that of The Good, the Bad and the Ugly is particularly notable. Movie music is normally written and recorded after shooting is complete, but in an unconventional approach for this last film in the trilogy, Sergio Leone had Morricone write and record the music before he began to film. The director then staged his scenes with the music already in mind, even going so far as to play the themes while on set. And his intent was to have the music inspire the movie rather than the other way around. And at least in this particular case, it has absolutely paid dividends. The film's title music is perhaps one of the best known and most memorable of all themes in film, up there with the theme from Jaws or the Imperial March from Star Wars, and it perfectly suits the film. However, the very stylishness of the films, their highly distinctive visual storytelling approach, their drawn-out moments of tension, and their escalating scale, might actually shade into being a weakness for some people. Certainly, I found both of these films, and particularly The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, which runs a full 2.5 hours, to be a little bit on the overly long and indulgent side. In particular, the lingering scenes as gunslingers face off and prepare to kill or be killed began to grow so long and overwrought that my reaction changed from edge of the seat tension to mild exasperation. Just shoot each other already. To me, it feels a bit like Leone had received so much recognition and praise for his distinctive staging and direction that he turned up the volume on those aspects just a bit too far. Now, the films are still good ones. Let's make that clear. They have well-staged action, memorable performances, engaging scenarios. I just think they would be even better films if they were a little bit leaner and cut, say, 15 or 20 minutes from their slightly overly florid run times. But at the end of the day, they're good movies, and I think it's worth checking out for a few dollars more, and The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, particularly if you've already seen the first film in the trilogy. Next time, a concept film based on a concept album. It's the 1982 offering Pink Floyd The Wall. But that's next time. Until then, thanks for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it.